Hello and welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Podcast, where we discuss everything in regards to the world of video games. I'm Mark, and as always, I'm joined by Matthew.
Hello.
And Nathan.
Namaste.
How are we, folks?
I'm great.
Right.
I had pizza for breakfast with a few dippies, so that's always nice. Breakfast of champions.
Was that last night's leftovers, then?
Yeah. We went for Papa John's. Other pizza providers are available, of course. I had the Meaty-licious, and it was very meaty indeed. Yeah.
Tasty.
It was good.
Nice.
On that note, we got some more news, as always. So we had yet another Sony State of Play. But this one, well, they announced beforehand that this one was just going to be focusing on PS4 and PSVR, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then I think there was a bit of a backlash, and so they ended up putting some information
Put
about
some
PS5
PS5.
games on it,
Put
chucking some of that in there as well. So they started off with some more information about Crash Bandicoot 4 about time. Now, I know
Yes.
you're both pretty much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What did you think to the new stuff mentioned?
I loved it all.
Yeah, I'll agree with Nathan. I think everything they showed off it reminded me of almost like Crash Bandicoot 1 almost.
Well, they have brought the Insanity Beach back in a different fashion, so they've harked back to that level in a way. I think they've just built on the original trilogy. I mean, they've got new mechanics, so you can wall run, rope swing, and rail grind and cool stuff like that.
Zip lines as well.
Zip lines, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's 4 new masks with powers that you can use. You can play the game totally as Coco now if you wanted to. So that's great that they've incorporated more instead of being like more of a bit part character, which is included more. You can play as Neo Cortex, as Dingo Dial, who ended up setting up a diner. That was quite fun. But his diner gets destroyed, unfortunately, and then he goes off on his.
He goes on a mass murder spree, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, why wouldn't you? If your diner's
exactly.
been destroyed, you've got nothing left in life.
That's his livelihood gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't blame him. As they were going through all the trailers and stuff, I actually got a bit emotional. I don't know whether it's because I enjoyed the first trilogy so much, but it just hit me right in the feels for some reason. And I don't know. It was just in my psyche. Maybe it's because Crash 1 was the first game that I ever remember playing. But it just, the different gameplays and everything just looks really great. Another good thing about it was these new colour schemes to all the levels that you could get.
I was going to mention this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make a confession here, is that I never played the Crash Bandicoot trilogy on the original PlayStation 1 because platforming really wasn't my kind of game. It was one of the few like PS1 classics that I never really played, to be honest. But this one actually made me really interested in it. I quite liked that, and that what you just mentioned, that what they're called inverted mode.
Yeah,
because they have that sort of things in like racing games where you'll have tracks and they invert them. So basically, it's just like a mirror mode of the track.
Yeah.
And you just go backwards around that track, and like a right turn will now be a left turn, etc. But I like the way that they've completely changed the way it plays, as opposed to not. So obviously they've mirrored it as well, but also incorporated these new art styles.
Yeah,
that's really quite fascinating. And that could add a lot to the longevity.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, definitely, because you can play the entire game in these inverted modes with the different art styles. One of the ones that I really like the look of is it's like kind of a Splatoon style where you've got like a rainbow of paint behind you. That was really nice.
Yeah, it's interesting to know whether that's if each level has their own inverted version, or whether it was like you could play all the levels in one style. Yeah.
I don't know, the way I read it, it sounded like each level had its own, but I might be wrong. You might be able to pick and choose.
I think it would make sense if it was like each one had their own, because it was like one of them was like the Splatoon one that Nathan mentioned, where you've got to spin to splash colour onto the level to reveal where you're going and stuff, and then like another one was underwater. But I liked how it was it also played different because it was underwater, because it had the proper physics and stuff. So it changes. It showed you like side by side how the level played normally, and then how the level played inverted, and it was quite different. It's like you've got to relearn the level again if you want to complete it 100%. It looked pretty cool how they built it and all.
And they showed another one which was like a neon wasteland. I think that's how they described it. So it's like it looked sort of like coloured lines, like I can describe it a bit like not crayons, a bit like chalks, coloured chalks. That's the kind of style on a black canvas.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it looked a bit to me.
Yeah. Another good thing about it is that you can get skins for your characters now, which was interesting. And one of the, well, I wouldn't say unique selling points, but one of the selling points is that you can get them all in game rather than having to purchase them, which is always nice.
Yeah, I don't like the way that it feels like games now have to say there's
Yeah,
no
it's a-
microtransactions.
Yeah, as if that's a
not
selling point.
That
Yeah,
shouldn't be a selling point. Like, I don't care if your game has microtransactions, but it shouldn't be like made as a big deal. It's like, oh, we don't have them
that's
now.
Not the only,
like,
that's not the only game on this thing that mentioned that as well. So.
Yeah, it's the only one that decides like, yeah, we've not got much. I don't care.
It's a sad state of affairs when that's something.
It's a good thing, obviously, but I don't like the fact that they had to feel they had to mention it.
The only time I'll be happy that like a game developer comes out and says we don't have microtransactions is when EA says it for FIFA. That's the only time I'll be happy that you've actually gotten a microtransaction.
Yeah. Anybody else got to say anything on Crash? I have to say it looks good. I that is the first Crash game that actually is interested me, particularly that inverted mode.
I'm looking very forward to it. Should I say?
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Because as I said about that movie mode, and that is in racing games, that seems in those sorts of games that seems a bit of a cop out. It's just like we're not going to make any more tracks. We're just going to reverse the ones that you've already existed just to prolong the game. Whereas this is actually just it's
an addition.
It's changing actually something in the game to make it belong. So that's good.
No, that'd be cool.
Another game that either passing interest in. Hitman 3. So it showed up showing Hitman 3. I'm like, yes, I get to see a bit more of this great game.
Yeah.
And then it was like showed Agent 47 walking up a set of stairs into this party. I'm like, oh yeah, this is looking good. And then it zoomed in into Agent 47 head. And I lost my mind when it said PlayStation VR.
VR, yes.
I went
all
crazy.
3 games as well.
You should have seen me. I went ballistic.
I
was like, what? What?
There was one bit that I went ballistic at, and it's why did he not drink the apple martini that was on the table?
I know.
Well, he's on the job, isn't he? He's
free drink.
Yeah, that's it. Perks of the trade.
Terrible.
He'll have one after he's done his job. After he took the guy out, he probably went back and did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thought of like having the piano wire and just going, that's his neck. Yes, please. But it's funny though, because surprisingly, I never contemplated the idea of Hitman in VR. It never. Most games I'll say, yeah, I wonder what that'd be like in VR. But I never actually thought about it in Hitman. So when that happened, it was just like such a shock to me. It's like, I can't believe they've actually. And then it said, play the entire trilogy, the entire World of Assassination trilogy. And I'm like, what? Seriously? That's like 20 plus levels. Crazy. Can't wait.
That's great. I mean, all what I've seen for Hitman 3, it's kind of wet the whistle for it a bit because I've never played any of the other Hitman games in the trilogy or any other previous games to the most recent ones.
Yeah.
But it does look really good. The way that you've explained it, Mark, the way it's like a virtual game of chess, really, where you control and
it's a sandbox, basically.
Get the target to where you want it to go, where you want them to go, and then execute from there. Yeah, it does seem really cool.
Next I've got is Braid Anniversary Edition. Has anybody played Braid before?
I've not. No, I've not
played
Braid.
So basically, it's about like time manipulation, I think. I've not played it, but it's one of those games that is always interests me because it's made by Jonathan Blow, who went on to do The Witness, in that puzzle game, which I really like, which I'm still yet to complete because it's quite difficult. But with this one, they've hand repainted it all, and they've added like different commentary settings, which is
well, they've added in like a developer's commentary over the game, haven't they? So
it's like in different categories. So you can have like ones in regards to art direction, ones in regards to gameplay, ones in regards to like design.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can like tick certain ones on and off, which is a really interesting way to. So if you only wanted to listen to like commentary about, I don't know, the art style, then you can just listen to that.
I mean, that's fantastic for aspiring game developers, just to get a view of how they've put the game together in different aspects. It's a really nice feature that I don't think I've seen recently, at the very least. And it's good that they're conveying their process for putting the game together. And I think it could probably light the fire inside some people to think, oh, this is something that I might be able to do, and help the next generation of game developers.
Yeah. And graphically, it's now got 9 pixels for every 1 previously. So, bit of a graphical upgrade there.
It looks really nice.
It does.
When I saw the first bit of it, with like the hourglass reversing and the opening of the box and that letter kind of reforming, it looked really charming and nice. And then as the trailer went on, you saw it was a puzzle platforming game with time travel. Well, not time travel as such, like reversing time manipulation. It does look really interesting and nice. It's out next year, so there's a bit of time to wait. But again, it's nice that we've got these games coming out, and might even have a dabble at the original. Don't suppose anyone knows what platform it was on.
Originally,
it was.
I know it's on PC.
Xbox 360, I think. It was one of. I think it was one of Xbox Live's like biggest arcade games. You know when they had the Xbox Live Arcade when it came out, and it was touted as like this massive indie revolution almost. For the Xbox was.
It's out for a lot of things. It's out for PlayStation 3, Android, Xbox 360. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So next I've got The Pathless. What did you guys think to this? Or did you not pay any interest in this one? So this was about in a mythic adventure in a fantasy world with an archer.
Yeah. I like how you can stroke the eagle. That's nice.
Okay.
It looks interesting. It looks rhythm based in parts with how the game flows. So you can use your eagle to fly if you want to.
Yeah.
And then you use your archery to hit these targets by the looks of it.
Because it has no map.
Progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you use your mask to try and find where to go next. You can look into this spirit world.
It's called Spirit Vision.
Spirit Vision, yeah.
And then you fight against giant cursed spirits, the source of the darkness, as they were described.
They try and separate you from your eagle. Heartbreaking stuff right there.
Yeah. It's Kez all over again.
You killed me, bird.
You killed me, bird. So yeah, first initially you have to stealth from them, and then something about returning light to the obelisk, and then
it weakens them, and then you can battle them. Yeah. I liked the puzzle aspect of it because you can find these like ruins, and then there's like a puzzle aspect in there where you've got to try and hit a certain amount of targets to unlock something. So that seems quite cool. I like the puzzly aspect.
I like this got a very Sonic-esque feel to it that you have to keep your momentum going by hitting the archery targets. That looks quite unique. Not seen that kind of stuff before.
Yeah, because it was all about timing rather than aiming down sight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very much. I think that there's.
So you can do it while moving.
Yeah, I think like the actual archery itself is very much kind of all targeted. I'm sure like the boss fights would be quite intriguing in how they could build that kind of momentum based gameplay around, because it showed you initially chasing like a massive dragon / dinosaur thing by having to keep up with its momentum and then hitting like the side targets on it.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Next, Spelunky 2. I only had one takeaway from this, and they said you could ride turkeys. That's the only thing that.
That's all I need to know.
That's the only thing I got from that.
Buying the game, completely on that.
So from what I saw of this one, they've built on the first Spelunky game and they've added multiplayer. The levels look really diverse, and there's a load of items that you can use to traverse the levels, and it looks really fun. It looks like a fun little platformer. It's out on the 15th of September. The developers seem really passionate, and there was still a few things in the game that even he didn't realize. So I think that just conveys how open the game is to all the different things you can do. With the multiplayer aspect, they really pushed that side a bit. When I first saw it, I thought, who's this character? It looks like Velma from Scooby-Doo, jumping around. But bar that, it just looks like a fun little multiplayer platforming game.
I think the best thing that I took from it was that you could throw a dog at an enemy and then it falls into lava, but then you can stand on the dog and
was that the pug?
Keep yourself safe.
You could throw?
Yeah, like you can throw dogs at people. Like, cool. Okay.
It's basically The Last of Us Part 2, throwing dogs at people.
What?
Then the dog dies.
Okay. Move on, please.
Bug snacks.
Bug snacks.
We all know we're all looking forward to bug snacks because they showed a bit more after this. So I think they showed more about the stuff you actually be doing. So it looks like you'll be helping the islanders, and they showed off a few weapons you've got. So you got bug traps, slingshots. You've got a camera and a grapple, and some sort of laser on a watch or something like that. And then there's an area called Snacksburg, which to me looks like it's like the central hub area.
Yeah. And then you've got to bring people back to Snacksburg, haven't you? So you just help the villagers out and try and bring the community back. One bit of it that I liked near the beginning. So it turns out that you're actually a journalist going to this location. I liked the pun in the back. It's GNN. It's CNN, the company that you work for. So yeah, that was a nice little spot. But yeah, it looks quite fun. They didn't show that enemy that we saw in the first trailer.
I was gonna say it did still end. This one did end on another dark tone though, didn't it?
Did it? I didn't notice.
This is where they stood at the top of like a ladder, and then it seems like they got pushed off it or something, and there's like a flying thing above in the air.
I didn't think that they got pushed off. I thought it was just the. I thought it was like the I suppose the momentum of whatever the giant flying. Someone said looked like a pizza.
Okay.
I think I suppose like the flap of its wings caused whatever platform the person was on to, like, I suppose.
It still felt a bit eerie to me.
I mean, you've fallen and you've landed looks like face first on a rock, so that's already kind of a bit dark.
Yeah.
Although the rock had some sort of pad on it, so I wonder if that's something that could be worked into a mystery. No, dead. Okay.
It's over.
The journalist is dead. Move on. Game over.
Okay, so then we had a VR game. Well, another one. That was Star Wars Vader Immortal. Now, was this previous mentioned? Because I never heard of this.
I've not either.
So, this actually came out on one of the PC VR platforms. I think it might have been the Vive. I don't.
Right.
Oh, it might have been Oculus. I can't remember. It's one of the others. From what I've seen of it when it first came out, it looked really interesting. Like it looks like it's got all the fantasies of you want of being able to hold a lightsaber and being able to use the Force in the game. Apparently, it's got actually an interesting story or side story to Vader's background of like what he was doing. I think it's set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I think I could be wrong. But it's all set within his castle on Mustafar. Apparently,
Right. I don't know, the things with VR games like this, it's all about how they play, really.
It's all about how
when you show it, it always kind of just worries me. I mean, I'm actually sort of worried about Hitman as well, about how that's actually going to play. When you take like something massive like Star Wars, and they do was the game for the what was it? On the what's it called?
Wii?
No. The Xbox Connect. Wasn't the some sort of lightsaber VR
Force Unleashed
lightsaber
was
game
it?
for that? I don't know. But anyway, apparently that didn't play very well, and so it's kind of just worries me when we have like these. Everyone keeps talking about they wanting to be like a VR lightsaber thing.
Yeah.
I think whenever they've tried something similar, it's just not gone very well. So I do worry about this.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Oh, go on. Sorry, Mark.
But I don't know. I obviously don't know how it's reviewed for the PC version. I don't know if that's being received well.
For what I know, it was fairly positive.
Well, maybe it'll be alright then.
I mean, it's not just. Sorry,
I'm just gonna have I'm just gonna have a tinge of. I'm just gonna wait and see. Really. Yeah. Just gonna wait and see.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I can use Force Lightning. That's all I need to know.
That's all I need
You want to be the Palpatine. We know you like doing that.
If he wants unlimited power.
He wants to play as Raiden, though. That's what he wants. He's going to pretend to be Raiden.
Hopefully, there'll be like a where you can change Darth Vader's helmet into Raiden's hat. Then that'll be it. Dream complete.
You don't play as Vader.
Another game that interests me was the Pedestrian.
This looks really good.
The other way I could describe it is that you are basically helping toilet door signs move, because that's what they look like, weren't it? Like men and women on toilet door signs.
It started in an office, didn't it? So you're on a whiteboard, and then you traverse to the toilet door and the toilet sign.
Initially, when they showed those like office doors, I initially thought this was Stanley Parable. And I don't know if, but that looked very reminiscent of it. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, and then you traverse to like a pinboard sign. And it was like that throughout most of the trailer. You're just in different locations, so you can be like in gardens, construction yards, roadworks, and it uses like the signs and boards around you to try and traverse the level, so you can move where signs are, connect signs together, and you're basically moving things into place so that your character can traverse and get to the next location. It did look really interesting and fun. It's one that I'm definitely going to be looking out for because it does look really unique. Yeah.
Did you think anything to it, Matt? Or were you not interested?
Oh no, I was interested, but you both of you probably said as much as I wanted to say on it. I mean, I like how unique it looks. It's like a physics. Well, it's not a physics based one, but being able to. What am I going to try and say? You know what? The best game that it reminds me of is The Witness. I think, as you said, it had similar kind of puzzles based on like what you're doing there. So I'd like to see more of it once it's shown off. Sure.
Well, that's coming in January 2021, so I'll be getting that for my 29th birthday from Nathan to Nathan.
Well, have fun with that one.
Yeah.
I will.
The last game that I took any note of was Godfall. Now, I know when we saw this previously, I think all of us came away from that thinking this looks a bit
Crap.
pants, or there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot to it.
It was just the
Did
song.
this? Yeah, I think that kind of affected it as
I think
well.
the song really put me off on it.
But now we see, because they were a bit more in depth with this one, weren't they? With
Yeah, I
this
think this was the
trailer.
longest piece, maybe on par with Crash Bandicoot, that we had.
Did this make you a bit more interested in it, or did you still come away thinking, nah? Because it was described as a looter slasher.
Yeah.
So loot progression. You can have up to 2 additional online teammates. That interested me.
Well,
yeah, so we could all play it.
Co-op in
Yes,
it,
so we could play as a 3-player. But
yeah,
it depends if it's actually interested in any of you.
I liked it a bit more than I thought I would, because I was put off by the initial trailer that we saw. But now they've had time to explain it a bit more. It does seem a lot better. So the world is split up into different areas that matches the elements. So you've got earth, water, air, and fire, and then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only joking. Avatar quote. They did bring up that there were going to be no microtransactions and everything's going to be there from day one. Another unique selling point there.
So happy
everything acquired in
the game.
Yeah.
Well, they did say all content was available from day one.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what games should be.
No, but does that mean that there's going to be no post-launch content?
Because it's like a looter slasher thing. I thought, I'm thinking like Destiny, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That there would be updates,
yeah.
free updates. Obviously, that they mentioned no microtransaction, but this seems like everything's just like there and that's it. So, aren't you going to reach a max level or get everything?
Well, this is it. Like, how are they going to continue people being interested in the game once they've done everything?
Yeah, I would have thought
it definitely seemed like, yeah. I think like you, I thought it was going to be similar to Destiny, where they just keep on updating it, adding new stuff in, and
to be honest, part of me think that's good. I mean, if I do end up playing it, I quite like the fact that there's a finite end to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to be adding more to it, you've got to think it's going to be feature rich to keep people involved and playing the game.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, it's been in development for quite a while, hasn't it? So I imagine there's a lot of stuff in it. But yeah, I've come away a bit more positive about that than I was previously.
Yeah, I like the weapon classes that they introduced. The two-handed sword to me looks like the best one because it looks like it can do some major damage. The combat aspect looks really feature rich. There's loads of stuff you can do. So like when an enemy's down, you can use your shield to kind of finish them off. You can if you time your strikes properly, you can set up combos. It does look really good. It's another game that's going to be available this year, so it might be something that I'll give a go. They might have just clawed it back from the brink. It does. I mean, in terms of the graphical style, the first thing I did say about it is it looks like a 360 game from 2011 in terms of the graphics.
Ooh, ouch.
It doesn't look like a PS5 game. But
I don't know.
But as long as the gameplay's there, then I don't really mind that much about the looks.
The thing is, I think most PS5 games. I don't think we can expect all PS5 games from the off to look insane, because obviously,
well, they're still learning the architecture, aren't they, of the console?
You don't really get the best ones until like later on in the cycle. I mean,
The Last of Us.
Exactly. That's final year, and that just looks incredible. And nothing earlier on in that era looked as good as that, I don't think, or on a similar level anyway. But does anybody else have any other games in that we're interested in?
I had a small piece on HUD. While I was watching the trailer, I'm like, right, it's Middle Earth. It looks really brutal. there's these people stealing from the rich. I'm like, oh, it looks like a Robin Hood game. And then at the end, it just came up with Hood. I'm like, yeah, called it.
I never made that connection.
Did you not?
No. Maybe it didn't strike me. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So that looks fairly cool. It looked like there was like a mini Kratos with the face paint like hiding there. I'm like, what are you doing there? But yeah, that looks pretty cool, and I loved the brutality. So I might be giving that a go when that comes out in 2021. So, but bar that, that's pretty much all my takeaways from the event. I think all in all, it was a bit of a mixed bag. There were some games that we didn't really talk about, but yeah, some rays of sunshine in there, i.e., Hitman, Crash Bandicoot, more information on Bug Snacks, and the Pedestrian for me. Yeah, great.
Cool.
Right. I don't know if you watched it, Nathan, but you did the Avengers War Table.
Yes, yeah. They showed off their second war table.
So they announced quite a lot of information about the beta, which I think's is it on now for PlayStation? I think
it is, yes. So that was pretty much like the first news they revealed within the war table that they've got beta going on. So from August the 7th to August 9th, which is today as of recording, people who pre-ordered the game on PlayStation 4 get access to the beta. And then the next time is on the weekend starting the 14th, which is everyone who pre-ordered on Xbox and PC. And then lastly, a essentially open beta for everyone on the weekend starting the 21st. So that's the last 2-3 days of the beta that everyone gets access to.
So they announced the beta was basically they had the Golden Gate Bridge demo that we've seen previously. They said it was like 25 minutes of gameplay, and that includes like the boss battle with Taskmaster.
Yeah.
After watching this, I thought they're putting they seem to be throwing a lot of eggs in their baskets in regards to this beta. There seems to be a lot of features in it.
Yeah, they really showed off a lot that was going to be in this beta.
I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I suppose
it's like, please come and play our game. There's a lot going on. Please do it. Look at all these things we have. Whereas I thought like betas are supposed to be like teasers. There seems to be putting quite a few missions in it.
I suppose, but I suppose what they wanted to do is they want to show off a little bit of everything that's going to be in the game. Yeah, so like you're going to be playing, a campaign mission. I think it's 2 campaign missions actually. The one that's in the Golden Bridge, and then there's another one that you get to play as Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, and the Hulk. I think you infiltrate. Is it an AIM base or something like that?
I think so. Yes.
I think so because it's like it's essentially when you play this mission, it leads upon getting access to an abandoned helicarrier, which throughout like the rest of the game becomes your home base of like accessing all the missions, all the war zones and stuff like that.
So once you complete the single player story content in the beta, you have 4 heroes to choose from to play in war zones: Iron Man, Kamala Khan, Black Widow, and Hulk. Instead, you have access to the helicarrier, Jarvis, and the war table. So they all seem to be going all out for the beta, but I've not pre-ordered it, so
no, unfortunately, I've not. Myself,
as I said previously, I'm a bit unsure about this, but I guess I could pre-order and then cancel, and then just see what the beta's like.
Oh, it'd be too late for you now, unless you pre-ordered for Xbox.
No, I mean physically.
Okay. But if you went
anyway.
Never
mind. No, because Amazon usually like send codes or things like that, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of Avengers, there was a bit of controversy, wasn't there, about a certain character in the that's going to be in the PlayStation 4 version, and that's Spider-Man, exclusive to PlayStation. You're a big Spider-Man fan, Matthew. What's your thoughts on this?
I immediately hate it. I do not like. Well, I don't like anytime any game has certain content that's exclusive to
A particular platform.
to a platform. Yeah, like
There was two ways they could have got around this, I think. Either have it as a timed exclusive, so say you, and then everybody else gets Spider-Man afterwards,
yeah,
or just have it as a exclusive on PlayStation, but it's a purchasable edition. I mean, I'm glad it's free, obviously, for PlayStation players, but if it's purchasable instead, then I feel like Xbox players would feel like they're being so locked out of it, because it means PlayStation players will still have to pay for it. If you see what I mean?
Well, it's not even Xbox. Even those that are going to play on PC.
Well, yeah,
get locked out of it.
Well, yeah, basically anybody else. Yeah, anybody else.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I mean, I read the I suppose the news and the developers that came. They wanted to say something about it afterwards because obviously, as soon as it got revealed, I think there was immediate backlash from like, why is this character who's arguably probably the most popular Marvel character, outside of maybe the X-Men, or I don't know if they're even popular anymore. Like why is it locked to one platform? And I think they tried to come out to explain that this is a unique situation between an agreement of like Marvel and Sony.
Yeah, so this is going to be the only character that has any sort of deal like this.
It's like if it weren't for the relationship between Sony and Marvel, this wouldn't ever even been a thing. Yeah. They were trying to explain it.
I think this is the thing is that it doesn't actually really surprise me that this has actually happened. But as I say, because obviously the Marvel Spider-Man game was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
So they've got that connection. Sony owned the films for Spider-Man, so I guess there's that connection. I mean, I know they don't specifically own the gaming rights, but there's clearly some deals in the background. So they've obviously got some working relationship, haven't they? So it doesn't surprise me that this is actually end up happening. But that doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's not a good thing.
No, I don't think it's a good thing. It's just so weird that like, was it I can't remember if it was last year that came out the year before, but like, you know, the Nintendo Switch got their own Marvel exclusive game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. And you could play in Spider-Man in there and all the other Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Venom. I think you can play as Carnage, I could be wrong, but it just seems weird how this has kind of come about. And I think what was made it worse is that I think one of the developers had come out and basically said, if you want to play as Spider-Man in our game, get a PlayStation.
Well, it's not wrong.
I mean, it's not wrong, but it's a bit of a slap to people that don't have a PlayStation. Like, oh, you want a PlayStation? Get our game.
PC.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, if you want to play it, well, better get a PlayStation then. Oops.
It's like
thanks.
the Xbox One days.
Bit of a,
it's like if you want to trade your games and you want to play offline, then stay on Xbox 360.
It's just it's a bit like, why are we still doing this when we've got, we're going into an era of being able to cross-play between PlayStation and Xbox.
And it's a bit, it's a bit of the timing of it, isn't it? Just as we're on the cusp of the new generation, I think that's what's annoyed a lot of people, because obviously it's like, oh, are you telling me I've got to get a PS5 instead of Xbox One X, Series X? It's like, I think it's a bit underhanded, isn't it?
Well, in my opinion, they're using the rights that they've got to the character to their advantage, and they're well within the rights.
Oh yeah. Well, there's questions about what the deals are.
I mean, they've got the movie rights. They've got
Because obviously it was Insomniac who obviously developed Spider-Man game, and they're first party for Sony, so that made sense. But this is made by Crystal Dynamics, which is outside of that. So where does the license fit there? I don't know, but I think we're gonna have to get used to this sort of stuff though in the games now, aren't we?
Well, just get all the consoles and everything will be okay.
That's the solution.
I guess
get all of the consoles.
But yeah, well, anyway, unsavory. Did anybody hear about the PlayStation documentary that got announced?
I didn't know.
Vaguely, I remember.
So apparently, there's going to be a PlayStation documentary featuring interviews with Hideo Kojima, Mark Cerny, and Shinji Mikami. And it's called From Bedrooms to Billions, The PlayStation Revolution. And it covers the story of Sony's console career from the PlayStation's launch in 1995 to the current gen. It's going to be out on September the 7th.
That sounds really cool.
To coincide with the 25th anniversary of the first console.
Oh.
And you'll get a physical release on DVD and Blu-ray. And will also be on demand on iTunes, Amazon, and Vimeo. So yeah, that's quite good. Looking forward to seeing
great. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I might, if it's good, I might even get it in physical, just as a little collector's piece.
What's it been released on? Sorry.
It's going to be on DVD, Blu-ray, and also on iTunes, Amazon, and Vimeo. But he does say and more, but what that is, I don't know.
So as long as you've got Amazon Prime, then I imagine you're good to go.
Let's go.
It's good for me. Just buy it physically. I've got a couple of leaks. Yeah.
Oh,
do you need a plumber, mate? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get Mario to come over?
You don't want to go into the bathroom yet, mate.
Get 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, some pictures surfaced online of what appeared to be PS5 might have customizable plates on them. Did either of you see this?
I saw this. Yes. Oh, it looks really cool. So do the white side plates? You can take those off and fit new ones onto it.
It looks like they've got clips on the. Yeah, it looks like they've got clips on the back. So instead of trying to flog us different PS5 consoles, you might be able to buy the actual separate plates and just basically build your own design, which for me sounds fantastic.
It sounds a bit like what they did with the 360, the original models, with the front pieces. Because certain games came out with their own special edition ones that you could purchase with the special edition.
So I guess this would allow you to buy, obviously, just like different plain colours, I imagine. So I imagine there's going to be a black one, so it fits in with all your previous PlayStations.
Did any of you see that Cyberpunk mock-up one? That looked really cool.
Yeah, I did see that. I'd like to see a grey one that matches with the PS1. I think that'd be quite cool. Like this, and I guess you get base colours, but obviously I think there's going to be game design ones as well, aren't there?
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's ever going to be any bundles, like a game and a set of plates, maybe.
I imagine that'll come. Yeah.
Although saying this is not being confirmed, so
leaks.
I'd like to see it.
It would be good. Quite like that. I'd really like that. But I do have one issue with that, though. That to me, that would only end up working on the digital version.
The digital?
Yeah, the digital console.
No, you're a good point there.
Because you've got the plates that are similar, aren't you, on either side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But on the disc one, obviously, it incorporates this version, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you could take that off. Well, I imagine you wouldn't be able to. So,
right, what's going to be then?
It's a thing. I think maybe this is a way to try and encourage you to get the digital version.
Yeah, it
could be. Yeah.
Unfortunately, if that's the case, I won't be getting the digital version. It's a non-starter. It's a non-starter. I won't be getting the digital version.
I'm with you, Mark.
There's too much things against it.
Yeah, I'm not getting the digital version.
I want to keep my games.
Well, I can see them trying to make this a selling point to try and get you to buy it. I think that's what the thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see in maybe the next 1 to 2 console generations, you'll probably be looking at an all-digital edition, and that's it. But we're not there yet, and I'm not ready to give up on physical media.
Yeah, when you're forced to do it, when it comes to that situation, then yeah, fine. But
Actually, if when we're forced to do it, I'll just buy a PC. Just have a Beast Gaming PC and play everything on there.
Won't be playing Sony's exclusives.
Don't care. They can keep God of War 3.
God of War 3. 3
Sacrilege.
again?
Yeah.
I say what they're going to do once it gets its second one. They can't call it God of War 2 again, can they?
Why not?
They'll have a name for it. A special name.
So
They'd call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Here we go. I've got a name. God of War: Return of the Boy.
Return of the Boy.
Yeah.
Return of the Boy.
Boy.
And then just on the spine, it just keeps going, boy. Yeah. Second piece of leaks.
Yeah.
There seemed to be a leak for Red Dead Online for a Halloween pass. Either you see this?
Oh, I've not seen this.
So since the last update, there seems to be images found in the code, which suggests that there's going to be Halloween themed Outlaw Pass, which will arrive following the conclusion of the one that's currently on now.
Oh.
That ends on October the 19th, this one, so timing-wise, it kind of works.
Oh.
And hopefully this might be some things in there which is sort of like a throwback to Undead Nightmare.
I hope so.
See, I mean, I'm not expecting a full Undead Nightmare edition.
Because there's a zombie expansion for Red Dead.
Yeah. That's not Rockstar style nowadays.
Mm.
But maybe there's some like throwbacks in it. And I've got some of the images here. So there's like a sword with like a skull thing attached to the handle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some rifle with some purple bats and a skull on the handle.
I like it.
There's a new theme for the Moonshine bar.
Oh,
Seems
really?
heart related. What else? What else we got?
Pumpkin Punch instead of Moonshine.
There's a new photography background. You know where you can go to those photography places.
You can get
There's new masks for your horses.
Oh, I want to.
Maxwell's going to be loving that.
You seem to get like eye coverings, like bandages around your eyes, so it looks like you can't see anything. But that's the other way I can describe it, really. But,
it's how I ride the horse, anyway.
That'd be cool if you went to first person and like you actually couldn't see anything. You're just like a...
Yeah, but they're actual images that have been taken, so it seems like it's a real thing. This.
Ooh,
So we'll look forward to that. Got to finish the current one at the moment.
I need to get back into it.
Yeah.
Now, on Xbox, Grounded got released recently. Have you played it, Matthew?
No.
Why have you not played it?
Well, primarily because I don't have my Xbox set up.
What's the other reason? I'm going somewhere with this. Tell me why.
No reason.
Tell me why.
It's the spiders. It's the spiders, isn't it, Matthew? Right. I bring you good news. Matthew. So Grounded, Grounded has got an arachnophobia safe mode.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Right, so it's like a sliding scale slider option, and it goes from 0 to 5. And I shall describe to you what this is. So 0, that's full spider.
Lovely.
1 is a 4-legged spider.
That still doesn't help.
2 is... Oops. Nope. 2 is a no-legged spider.
Could be better.
What's 5 going to be? An eyeball?
3 is just a floating body, but without the fangs. They've been taken out.
Okay.
This is the crappiest spider ever.
4 is a spider's body, but it's got no mouth now as well. And the top tier number 5 is just a floating white blob with orange eyes. So you've got no excuse not to play Grounded now.
What's your level, Matt? What do you think you could go
to?
Level?
Which could you accept?
The floating blob with eyes.
I don't know, because like
it's too much.
I think all of it would be too much for me, honestly.
Oh come on, the floating white blob looks hilarious.
Maybe 4, maybe.
The floating white blob looks a bit like those egg sweets.
Mm.
You know, That's what that looks like. So, yeah. I don't know if it being attacked by an egg suite does anything for you, Matt.
Just there, waking up in the middle of now in night terrors. Oh!
The thing is, I've actually read into this game, like what you're meant to do and stuff, and like the different stuff that can happen, like in daytime and nighttime. So like in daytime, apparently there's the spiders that you find there called orb weavers. So they've got their own like patrol and stuff, so you can actually like to a certain extent avoid not seeing them. But apparently at night there's one that comes out that's like even worse, and it's called like a wolf spider.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it actively hunts you down if you like leave your area. I'm like, no, I can't.
None of that.
Yeah, but if it's white, yeah, if it's just white jelly spider, it should be fine, sure.
I know, but apparently they're meant to like swipe at you. So like, how am I meant to know if they're swiping if they've got no legs?
Well,
I don't know.
Just try and headbutt you with the egg movements.
Yeah, egg movements. I mean, I've seen a video of like
shoot the blob, be fine.
Yeah, shoot the blob.
Shoot. I've seen a video of one dude who's like in like a tunnel or something, and like there's one of like the baby spiders, like he like hits it and like turns around and there's just these legs coming towards him in the tunnel. I'd be like, no, I would have legged it from the room. I can't. No, I'm not playing this game. You can't.
I've got one other bit of news. Has anybody else got any news?
I have the news.
You has the news?
Go on.
So my bit of news is that Microsoft have revealed that Xbox Live Gold is not going to be becoming free. So there was a few rumors about this because they'd taken the 12-month subscription offline. But it seems like that's to do with the rebrand of the Game Pass rather than they're going to be setting online gameplay to free. So basically they've come out and said that Xbox Live's not going to be free, and that's basically it. To be honest, it was going to be one of the... I was excited for it if it was going to be free, so I could play some of the Xbox One games that I've been putting off because I wanted to play them online and I've not got any gold at the minute. But yeah, that's not going to be happening. So cry.
Cry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could just be deflecting though, because it was initially leaked and then them having to officially announce that the multiplayer for Halo Infinite will be free to play. So there is some element of like truth that maybe they're doing something with Xbox Live. Like maybe they've just come out to try and
deflect,
kind of like, you know, put out the fires before they can set the fires themselves on it.
Yeah, good point. I mean, to be honest, I don't really care about the free games. I just want to play online for free. That's all I want. I don't want all this extra stuff. If I want the games, I'll go and buy the games.
Well, there you go. There's Halo Infinite for free for you.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's only, when you think about it, it's only PlayStation and Nintendo that have started paying for it in this generation. Well, you've had to start paying for it in this generation because it was free on PS3, free on the Wii U, and Wii kind of online. But yeah, now it's everybody. But yeah, it's just the gaming landscape as a whole. You've got to pay to play your games. You can't just play with the internet that you've got. So yeah, it is what it is. We're used to it by now. It's been like that for the last decade and a half. So I guess it's as you were.
Yeah.
Don't agree with it, but just has to be done.
Yeah.
Any more?
I have one piece of news that came out, I think, probably on this weekend, so maybe Friday. I can't remember. So Rocksteady have shown off a poster for the new game that they are working on. Finally, some news from Rocksteady themselves. And the leaks confirmed that they are working on a Suicide Squad game. I mean, the poster itself shows off almost kind of a silhouette look of behind Superman. But he's got like the Suicide Squad crosshair logo on his head, which could reveal some things about the game. I mean, someone did say that they did register a domain that's called Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. Whether that's what the game will be called, I'm not sure, but they said they will be officially announcing the game on the 22nd of August during DC's fan con thing. So look forward then to seeing more news about this.
Not long then, 13 days away.
No, I think Mark might be agreeing with me that I think we've been really looking forward to seeing what Rocksteady kind of do next since they finished the Batman game.
Let's be honest, there's just been so many rumors flying about what's going on.
Yeah,
it's finally to actually get some concrete. It's finally good to get some concrete stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to see what they could do with the Suicide Squad game. I mean, just be able to control maybe so many different characters in a Gotham City style open world, maybe.
Yeah, presumably this is next gen as well. So.
Oh, I can imagine it somehow being this current gen.
I've got one final thing, not slightly out of the ordinary compared to what we normally talk about, but I just thought it was interesting nonetheless. Did either of you see the new Lego set?
The NES one?
Yeah, they released a Lego NES. So it costs £209.99, and it contains the console, a controller, a Mario cartridge, and a TV. So you get like 4 different things to build, and you build like a level. And you actually could put it inside the TV, and it's got like some sort of crank system. So if you turn the cog on the TV, it makes it look like Mario's running along. It's really pretty cool, and it's like similar size to the actual NES console, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool to worth mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for collectors, for gamers and Lego collectors alike. The price put me off a bit. I think if it was around 100, then I'd think, maybe I'll buy it as a collector's piece and as a little project to put together. But it's a bit too rich for my blood at that price. It did look cool, though. I mean, I did look at some of the pictures of it, and I looked at the back of the TV, and there was like the antennae port there, and it all looked really.
It doesn't look like authentic.
Yeah,
you
really
can actually put the cartridge inside it as well.
Yeah,
you open the flap and actually slot it inside, and it comprises of 2,646 pieces. So quite a bit.
Quite a bit of building there. They had to field some questions actually, because some people thought you could actually use it to play NES games.
Yeah. I remember.
Which really
that
makes
would
worry about some people.
That would have been astonishing if it could.
I mean, to be honest, it could be used as housing for the boards and stuff. I mean, you could do something with it.
Yeah, sure. Someone's going to do something with it.
Yeah.
Someone will end up making it workable.
Oh, yeah. So.
But yeah, that's me for the news. Shall we have a question then?
Go on.
Let's do it.
So, what is your favourite video game antagonist / villain? And I'll ask. Go on, Matthew. I'll ask you first.
Oh, going for me. I was torn between 2, but this one I'm going with as just because he's so relentlessly funny throughout the entire game, and just the amount of insults that he throws to the character, and how much of an ASS he is throughout the game, and just how satisfying it is actually to finally defeat him towards the end. Mine is Handsome Jack from.
I thought you were going along that way.
Yeah, mine is Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. He's just an incredibly written character, and just throughout the entire game, the amount of stuff he has to say, I'd like if I could try and think of the top of my head, like he has his own pony and it's made out of diamonds, and calls it Foot Stallion. Like that's just amazing to me. And then like there's one bit in the game where like you're cutting down like statues of him, and he's like, "Oh, you're only cutting that because you're illiterate, and like because I'm reading a book and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a statue of me kicking you in the gulags over and over. I'm gonna make 15 of them." He's just, oh my god, some of the stuff that like he says throughout the game is just absolutely funny. But then just like how dark he can be as well, though, within the game of like, I mean, spoilers if you've never played Borderlands 2. Sorry, Nathan.
Well, neither have I.
It's fine. Just put me out of my
never played
misery.
it.
Go on.
Right.
Well,
just
I thought the plan was for us to play them.
well, we can go through them. I don't have to speak about it, but just like the way he uses a certain character throughout the entire game, and not realizing who they are until you get towards the end of it, is absolutely it's almost shocking to me, but it's just absolutely on brand for Handsome Jack.
Right.
It's just such an ASS hole throughout the entire game. But I absolutely love him. Like, he's such a good character. What about you? What about you, Mark? What was your favorite?
Me. Okay, so the one I like mine because his over generations he's sort of like changed like through the series of the games.
Oh,
So
okay.
he starts off as like a young and brash, naive. Well, I say starts. It's a prequel. But mine is Revolver Ocelot from the Metal Gear Solid series.
Yes. Oh god.
So
Yeah.
in Metal Gear Solid 3, we see him as like a young, brash, naive, and a bit stupid.
Mm.
And he likes to do all these daft things like just like flipping his guns in the air just to show off for no particular reason. And actually, he's just at that point he's not particularly that good. And
No. Yeah.
Snake, who's you play there, just makes a fool of him basically continually
Yeah.
in that game. But then it ends up turning into like a friendly rivalry between them both. But when he becomes like older, Revolver Ocelot, which you see in Metal Gear Solid 1, I just think he's super cool. He's like this really
Yeah.
this really skilled gunslinger, and he's like
Oh,
he's got a top tier mustache.
oh
and
yes,
hair,
absolutely.
and that trench coat. I just think it looks great. And then he still carries on with his twiddling his guns, but he's actually quite useful with them now because he can ricochet bullets.
He's really good with
That's
them,
good with that. But yeah, Revolver Ocelot for me. I can't. Just that. I can imagine having a drink with him actually, even though he's supposed to be a villain. Well, he actually changes throughout the series, doesn't he? Because
He does, yeah.
so obviously he starts out as well. It's because everything's out of order in terms of the games, isn't it? But obviously, MGS3, he's, as I say, friendly rival. Metal Gear 5, he actually becomes like an ally, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, in the Metal Gear Solid 1, he's an enemy. So I like that sort of evolution of him. But, yeah, that's. I just think he's top tier coolness. As I say, there's a lot of villains in Metal Gear Solid that I probably could have chose, but I think the top for me is going to be Revolver Ocelot.
Just don't go any further than Metal Gear Solid 1, because then it gets confusing.
Yeah. What about you, Nathan?
Me, okay. Well, I've thought about this in a bit of a different way. So, as we all know, there's some fantastic video game villains out there, like the Ghost from Pac-Man, Joel from The Last of Us, Ganon from The Legend of Zelda, and so on and so forth. But I thought about the villain or villains that give me the most emotion, whether it's beating them or getting beat by them. And my favourite villains in video games are my friends / the people that I play with.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's
okay.
say, for example, I'm playing Mario Kart against somebody.
Yeah.
The villains can't scold me or scathe me like somebody who I know can. They can't question my manhood. They can't question my work ethic.
Well, they could
And
do,
when I
'cause then
get
you
beat, when I get beat by them, it's just absolutely devastating. But when you win, it's absolutely fantastic because you can rub their face in it.
So you become the villain.
Yes. Well, they're villain in
You
their
either die a
opinion.
hero, or
But
you live
this
long
is
enough to see
this
you.
is
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
in my opinion. So there was this is a bit of a rage quit, but when me and Matt were playing FIFA once, and he was slapping me up when he was Liverpool and I was lowly Crystal Palace. He ended up beating me 5-1 on FIFA 14. You were the villain, Matt. You were the villain.
I don't think I was that much of a villain. I don't think I was.
Yeah, you were using the headers to your advantage. Disgusting.
But I wasn't like saying stuff to you. It was just like, oh, it's just.
You didn't need to. You didn't need to.
To be fair, that was the door slam that the whole office heard. So.
The door slam heard around the world.
Oh right, yeah. I was genuinely concerned when you did that. I was like, oh god, I've actually. I've no idea.
I think that's the only time I've rage quit on FIFA. So congrats.
Okay, so we've established Matt's the villain. Okay.
I
Yeah,
am
you're the villain.
Yes, clearly goes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it. So that's my
learn something new
favorite
every
video
day.
game.
So every online player, basically. Okay.
Yeah, especially those pro clubs players. Grr.
Especially for Mark. Ooh.
Yeah. Let's not get into that.
It's not good.
So, what have we been playing?
Well, clearly FIFA at this rate.
Do you want to go first this time, Mark?
Okay, so last time we spoke, I'd been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm.
I have platinumed and 100%ed it.
Oh, nice.
Yay for me. So I wasn't black flagged. So
Yeah.
I was thankful for that.
I mean, yay.
So that's me done with that game now. There's no other
Well,
reason.
you're saying that's me done talk.
Yeah,
So,
that's it.
That's me done.
That's my games.
Yeah, so yeah, done all that. There's nothing else to do on that game now. I've literally done everything. Still a great game. Loved it. But got to put that one to the bed because there's a backlog to get through now. No, there was the Red Dead Online update for the naturalist role. So I played a bit of that.
Yeah.
So it works in like two ways. So you can either become basically a good person or a bad person. So you can either take samples, so sedate animals and take samples from them and then sell them to Harriet, who likes to, like, an environmentalist, shall we say. And then we've got Gus, who wants you to slaughter all the animals and give them all this skin to make items. I've been a good boy so far. I just done the sedating stuff, but I can't wait to get to the slaughtering section. But I'm just building up my ranking for it to unlock the better tracking of legendary animals.
Oh,
I think that'd be really good to do as a posse. That sort of stuff, because the tracking of the legendary atoms. What am I about? Legendary animals can be quite a lengthy and difficult task. Because do you remember in the game where it's like you have to follow trails to certain areas, and then you see like the way you search for legendary animals in the main game, where you track them and you had the yellow trails, and then there was like yellow sparks where you find like they've rubbed up against a tree or something, and then you have to follow them. But it's like that, but it's like 3 times the length of that in this online version. And then you finally get to like a wide, like, search area, and you've got to search it all trying to find this animal. It's a bit much for one player to do that. Whereas I can imagine if you had like a group of hunters, you could do it pretty good. So yeah, I've just been playing a bit of that, just ranking that up. I'm going through the Outlaw Pass, obviously. I'm like rank 44, something like that, out of 80. So I'm over halfway there now, so not too bad. And I've started something that you've recently done, Matthew, is I've started playing Assassin's Creed Origins.
Ooh. Because
there's Valhalla coming up, and there's 2 Assassin's Creed games to get through before we play that. So I thought I might as well. So as soon as I finished Ghost of Tsushima, I thought, right, next big game, I'll whack Assassin's Creed Origins on. I'm liking it, but then I looked at the map, I zoomed out on the map. And I thought, this is big. This is overwhelming in typical Assassin's Creed fashion. It's like there's a lot.
Like if you felt like Paris and London were quite big. London wasn't massive in Syndicate. I don't know if you played Syndicate or not, but yeah, like Paris felt bigger than London to me. But if you felt like Paris was like the biggest map Assassin's Creed had, like this just like absolutely poos over it.
Yeah, and I've read that.
So massive.
Yeah, and I've read Odyssey is even bigger than this one. So
when
I get to that one, blimey. But yeah, I just zoomed out on the map. It's just like there's so many like territories, and I think I'm in like the fourth territory. I've just got to Alexandria, so I'm not massively that far. Yeah. But I think what zombies?
Yeah, Alexandria.
Oh, The Walking Dead.
It's The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Carry on.
But maybe lose my train of thought now. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
You
just got to Alexandria.
I'm not gonna try and do what I did with Black Flag and try and do everything. I'm just gonna focus on the side missions, the main missions, obviously, and just things like just anything else that crops up in my journey as I'm going past them. If anything of interest comes along. Oh, and obviously doing the the synchronized tower things, just so I can do fast travel. Apart from that, I'm not gonna get too in depth with it.
I don't think I even got all of those when I finally completed it. I'm
not planning on doing all of them if possible. It's just so I can move about.
Just do the important ones.
Yeah. Because then if I do feel like down the line I might feel like doing any other things, at least I can just easily travel there just to do them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite an overwhelming game. I was a bit confused about the story at the beginning as well. I didn't realise some of those things were flashbacks.
Oh yeah, so like
with Bayek. I love his name as well because it makes it sound proper Yorkshire. Bayek,
lad.
I just love saying that.
I'll just say I think in terms of like the protagonists in the Assassin's Creed games, I think Bayek's one of the better ones. I think he's pretty good once you get into his story.
Yeah. Especially
his wife, if you've met her yet. You will do an Alexandria at some point.
I think I'm probably just on the cusp of that. One of the final game I've been playing, and I think we've all been playing it. That's Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Yes.
Good fun. Yeah. So basically, total wipeout / Takeshi's Castle in video game form. Really good fun. I was playing this last night actually with my brother, and I got onto the I got to the final for the first time.
Yeah.
And this was where you're going up the hill and you've got to grab the crown.
Oh, the full mountain, yeah.
Yeah. I actually got there first, jumped, missed the bleeding crown dinner.
Oh no.
And then I fell down the pit. I actually have it recorded.
Oh no.
I fell down the pit.
Oh, whacked it on the YouTube channel.
And then obviously I lost. And I was inconsolable.
Oh no.
I was just like, oh, for ages.
I saw that one that you shared yesterday, Matt. That guy that got so near to the end, and then the ball just kept shooting at him.
Oh, that was hilarious. Because he gets to end and he taunts, and he just gets wiped by balls every time. That was hilarious.
Deserved it.
Yeah.
There's another one that I've actually seen as well. It's on that full mountain. Someone gets to the top and jumps for the crown and grabs it, but it doesn't like end the game. He ends up like getting on top of the crown, and he just stays there. Like, it doesn't like get the win. So like someone else jumps onto the crown instead and like wins it.
Oh, that's even worse than mine.
It's like you've won. It's not like giving it.
Or maybe he didn't know he had to grab it. Just thought he had to stand.
Yeah, you've got to grab it.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, who's listening, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is free on PS Plus at the moment, so get it.
It's great.
Absolutely. Fun.
I was playing it a bit yesterday, and we got to like the semi-final stage. I'd say there was 8 people left, and we played that football game, and there was 4 on each team, and my team lost. Absolutely got screwed over by my team, though. I scored both the goals that we had, and they just let me down. I was so annoyed with them. I'm like, here you go, Lisa, you have a go. I'm sick of it now.
They were the villains.
It's one of my worst.
Yeah, they were the villains. I was so annoyed at it. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I like the race ones better. Do you know, like where it's kind of downhill, like the door ones, where you have to get through the doors, a bit like
that door
Takeshi's Castle Round 1 style.
No.
Because I'm pretty good at beating a third of the rubbish players, so I can pretty much always get through that level to the next stage. I'm not very good at that stage where you're on that like a rotating tube, and different bits of the tube rotate.
Oh,
yeah, not very good at that one, but it's really fun. Yeah, enjoying it.
What's your thoughts of Fall Guys, Matt?
I absolutely love it. Like
It's jolly good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, when it first came out, I immediately installed it. Was started to play it. Unfortunately, all the servers took a bit of a battering because I don't think the developers were expecting it to be so popular.
I mean, that's a good thing, though. So.
No, that's good because it's like, people really want to play the game. It's just unfortunate when people go on Twitter, your servers aren't working.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty much an unprecedented situation, wasn't it?
Like they're an indie developer. Like, of course, the server's not going to handle that many people wanting to play the game. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's the best. It's the best game that have come out around like the times that we're in at the moment. Just absolute fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think people need, isn't it?
Yeah, it's same as when Animal Crossing came out back in March. It was like it's the perfect game for what people need right now.
Yeah, because you can just sink so much time into it and just get so absorbed in the world. I think with Fall Guys, it's just the pace of the game, which is great. Yeah, so if you're done, you can just exit out of it, straight back in.
Yeah, it's easily pick up and play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to play.
And it's not complicated in terms of controls either, is it? You just push to run, square to dive, X to jump, and R2 to grab. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And you just apply that into every single one.
And L2 to view usernames if you do want to focus on somebody.
The villain.
Oh,
if you have a rival,
me.
Just pick a random
59 other villains,
and then just chase after.
David's coming after me, isn't
he? What else have you been playing, Matthew?
Me. So I've got back onto a bit of a anime phase suddenly. So I've been going back into Digimon World Next Order, which I'm sure blows Mark's mind on like, what the hell is that even? I think
Pokemon again.
Playing that Pikachu. Only digitally. So I've been going back to that. It's the best way I can describe that game is a pet simulation game, but you get to fight with them as well. So it's just feed them, build them up, get them to evolve, and go through the story. It's I've been hooked on Digimon since I was a kid. I absolutely prefer it over Pokemon, but that's my opinion.
The evolution, the Digivolutions look so much cooler, don't they?
That's it, and like the music as well. Like just it's so much better. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Other than that, I went to a board game for the Switch that is called Aether Riser, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. Again, just another anime.
Can you repeat that, please?
I'd love to, but even when I read it, I'm like, is that how you say it?
So you've been playing a game, okay?
Playing a game, yes, a JRPG, which I'm sure you two love. I've only just I've only got into it a little bit, so I've not got too far into it, but it seems interesting enough so far. Outside of anime, got back into Destiny 2. which is a game which I feel like I took for granted when I first played it, because I played all of the first Destiny, which I quite enjoyed. But it's something that once you've gone through the story, everything else is very group dependent. So if you've not got like other people to play with, you kind of a bit stuck. I mean, you could do raids and stuff solo, but it's something they probably should play in groups. But I got back to Destiny 2 on a recommendation of a friend to get back into it, and I forget how good the gunplay is in that game. Like, if I were to rank gunplay gameplay for first shooters on console, like Call of Duty's first for me, and then probably Halo, but then after that, like I think Destiny slots in quite nicely. So yeah, we can get back into that. On PC, got back playing Halo: The Master Chief Collection. So going through Halo 2 campaign at the moment and the multiplayer, which I'm either really good at or I'm really bad at, depending on which server it decides to put me on. It's really weird how it does its server thing. So you search for a game, and it can put you into any region. Like, you can't pick what region you want to be in, so you could end up in like North Europe, or you end up in like East US, which is fun to play on. This is not fun. It's terrible. And then other than that, on PC we can get back into Rocket League again. So Rocket League is always a fun time. It's always a game I go back to when I go back on PC. So that's what I've been playing. What about you, Nathan?
Me. Well, first I'll go through the games that I've bought, and then I'll go through what I've played. So I think this is one that you've also purchased, Matt. So Codename Steam.
Oh yes,
the
yeah.
3DS.
Mhm.
So I've started playing that. It's really surprising. I saw it pop up, and it was £1.50 on Amazon. I'm like, oh sod it, let's get it for £1.50. That's nothing, and it's pleasantly surprised me. So it's a game set in London, and everything's powered by Steam, as is the name. Even like these little teapots, and basically, these aliens have attacked London, and you play as this person trying to destroy the aliens and fight your way through levels. But the way the levels work, it's like a board game turn-based system. So you can only move a certain amount of squares, and use your Steam as like your power source to move and fight. So, for example, you could you get about 10 like bits of Steam in your Steam bar. And for each attack, it takes about 2 bits of Steam away. So you've got to really strategize using your Steam to move into a location where the aliens can't get to you, and using your Steam to destroy the aliens in your path to clear the level. So you get your turn with your Steam, and then you hand it over to the aliens where they have their turn, so they can come and try and get you and attack you. But I've played about an hour or so of it so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I tried playing Valkyria Chronicles. I think it was Valkyria Chronicles 4 for the Switch. And it didn't really grasp me, because I didn't really like that kind of gameplay where you have a go, get into a position, then they have a go. But this is really changing my mind about that entire game style.
Where it's like a strategy turn-based.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it, actually, so I'll be playing a bit more of that
nice.
soon. So yeah, that's good. I also bought a couple of Yokai Watch games. Ta-da!
Oh yeah.
So I've not opened these yet, but I'll probably play them at some point in the next week or two. So this is kind of well, from what I've heard, it's like a Pokemon style game where you collect these creatures and use them to battle, and there's a bit more of a story aspect about it. But as I said, I've not played them yet, but looking forward to it. So that'll be good. The next one, South Park and the Fractured Butthole.
Wow.
So this one's also got the South Park and the Stick of Truth included. It was only a £5, so I thought let's give it a go. I like South Park. It's probably going to be funny. So I'll play that at some point. Now the next game that I purchased, this was off the back of seeing the State of Decay 3 trailer, because I thought the zombie deer thing looked pretty cool. So I ended up buying State of Decay 2, just to see if it's something that I could potentially get into before the next game comes out, rather than paying like 40, 50 quid for the new one. I'll see if the old one grasps me, and if so, then it might be something that I'll get on Xbox Series X. So yeah, gonna play that. And then the last one is Need for Speed Payback. So I'm not sure if anyone's played that yet, but I really love the Need for Speed games. Definitely the more arcadey style ones, and it came up on offer, so I thought, yeah, I'll grab that. It's another game that I can play on the Xbox One, give it a bit of love, because pretty much all I've been playing on Xbox One is Crackdown 3. So I thought, I'll get another game for it. It's always nice. But in terms of what I've been playing, so obviously been playing FIFA, Fall Guys. That's always fun. I've been playing Saints Row 4 as well. So I cracked the old Xbox 360 out. I've got to the point now where I've got my favourite gun in the game, the dubstep gun, as people may know if they listen to the last episode. So I've been using that to make people dance, and then I'll kill them afterwards, of course. So yeah, I honestly forgot how fun Saints Row games were, just in general. Like, just all the little crazy things, like you're flying a spaceship.
I wanted to make a point about this. It's like, you know how Saints Row became like sort of like an alternative to GTA. It's like it was just like GTA, but like turned up to 11, like on drugs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you look at GTA now, and that seems to be going that way now anyway. It seems to be going more insane. It's turning into Saints Row with things like you're flying bikes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's
And
been a while since Saints Row, isn't it? Go.
There was a bit in the game where it said do a barrel roll. So I thought that was a nice little Easter egg there. But yeah, I've been playing that and really enjoying it. I've been running into people and punching them into buildings, jumping like the Hulk. It's all fun. What else have I been playing? I think that's about it for me, to be honest. So mostly it's just been FIFA every now and again, Saints Row 4, a lot of Fall Guys, and Codename Steam, which is good.
Surely good. Right. Video Game Hall of Fame.
Go on then.
Well, we'll see if the listeners can guess what that is then. So as I say, let's move on to the Video Game Hall of Fame. This is where we take an in-depth look at a game of high quality or historical importance and induct it into our pantheon of games we feel deserve special recognition. Recognition? I never said that right. Our inductee this episode was first released on November the 15th, 2001 for the Xbox. It was published by Microsoft Game Studios and developed by Bungie. It's Halo Combat Evolved. Did you get that from the noise, listeners?
Did you get the theme song?
The noise.
Yeah.
That was
the whale.
The beautiful musical genius of Nathan Wisniewski.
Now, Halo, I never played the first game until the Master Chief Collection because I never had an Xbox before the Xbox One. So gaming, I guess, had changed. So I don't really know what it was like when it first launched. Did you guys play it when it first came out? I imagine you did, Matthew.
I did eventually. I think I've told this on a story before on the podcast, but like as growing up, I was very much kind of not pro anything, but was kind of anti Xbox when it came out. But when I went over to my mate's house one weekend and we played co-op on it, I was a complete convert. I was like, I need an Xbox now. So yeah, when it first was around, well, actually no, not when it first came out. It would have been Halo 2. Sorry, it would have been Halo 2 that might have started on it. Then I think we went back to Halo 1.
Right.
think that was the story. But
No.
yeah,
I have to say, I've never understood the plot of Halo. I don't know if either of you know more about what it is. I just found it going around shooting aliens, but I know there's a plot.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty similar. To me, it's just your Master Chief, and you go fight the Covenant and the Flood. It's a battle to take control of the Halo rings. The inspiration for the game itself was actually based on a novel,
novel.
a novel called Ringworld. So that's
Okay.
where the inspiration of Halo came from. And if you don't know what the Halo ring is for anybody, it's basically a weapon, a planet-destroying weapon, and it's kind of got a world built onto it, with like mountains and rivers, and you fight on the Halo ring, and you've got to try and destroy it and take control away from it. Because if the Flood get a hold of it, then they'll just take the whole thing over and use it for whatever they want to use it for. For me, I liked the Flood as an enemy, and I found them more menacing than the Covenant. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, because as I've previously mentioned on a previous pod, is when we talk about worst levels in the game. Otherwise, we liked. I mentioned the library mission from Halo, and I did not like that because I just got lost in it, and obviously you're just constantly chased by the Flood in that. That's when you like first come across them, isn't it? In that mission. And I was just constantly chased by them, ran out of ammo, and just like, nah, I don't like this. So it's just spent mostly just trying to run away. But yeah, they are much worse than the Covenant. They just feel a bit like normal aliens, shooty. Just with guns. I have to say, Master Chief, I think he's one of the coolest video game protagonists out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A man of few words. Now, do you know what his
actions speak louder than words?
Yeah. Do you remember his full name? His full name is Master Chief Petty Officer John 117.
No, I knew his
is that
name was John
hyphenated?
117. But...
Yes, John hyphen 117. Yes.
Yeah. A memory that I got from playing Halo. It's actually when we were in college. So as you probably know, at like the end of year for school/college, it was pretty much you've done the curriculum, you know what grade you're going to be getting, and you had a lot of free time. And in college, I did a mix of business and IT. So in our IT class, we set up a LAN network with all our machines, and we played Halo in a LAN party. And it was just so much fun. There was about 30 of us all together. And it was just free for all. Everybody just absolutely kicking the crap out of each other. And yeah, just love it. I think in terms of what Halo did for gaming, I think it was that next level jump. Because before that, you'd probably say maybe GoldenEye was a bit of a jump in terms of the shooter genre, and then I think Halo for me was probably the next step beyond that. And then it just evolved from there, really. I mean, one thing, as Mark alluded to before, there's a few ways you can play Halo, even though Xbox allows backwards compatibility. So you got the first game, Halo Combat Evolved, for the original Xbox. Then, as Mark played, you've got the Anniversary, which for that one, I think used Kinect as well, didn't it? The Anniversary Edition. And you could flick between the new graphics and the old classics graphics by shouting the word classic. And it would change the graphics from the new graphics to the older graphics. And I can remember me and my cousin were playing it, and I just used to shout classic, and then it switched back and put him off while we were in the middle of a fight. And then also there's the most recent edition, the Halo Master Chief Collection, which you can play the anniversary version on. So yeah, regardless of which Xbox you've got, you can always play a bit of Halo Combat Evolved, which is nice.
So I went back and played this recently, obviously, to refresh memory. And I forgot that there was no aim down sight function, which is kind of like standard, like first person shooters now.
Yeah, that's one thing that's not aged too well. The controls and the gunplay.
So I went to press it, and then I just ended up throwing a grenade. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not what I intended to do.
Yeah.
So that confused me. So going back to the first one, what I liked was that each weapon seemed to serve like a different purpose. It seems to have like a different function. Although there was one particular gun which I found awful, and that was I don't know what it was called, but it was one that had like pink spikes sticking out of it.
Oh yeah.
Needler.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Needler.
Why that never seemed to? Every time I shot it at an enemy, it never seemed to hit him. Or it didn't look like it was. I don't know what was going off there.
I don't think that I dual wield until later games, did it? Because you could only wield
No, I don't think it did.
one-handed.
Yeah.
It was Halo 2 that introduced dual wielding.
Yeah.
But the thing about this game is that it wasn't a case of just like picking up bullets for every gun. It was like every weapon you picked up seemed to have like a finite use.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? You would have to keep picking up other weapons apart from your main weapon you had.
Yeah.
You had bullets. I quite liked that because a lot of time I found in first person shooters is that I'll get used to one weapon
and then just keep it.
I'll just keep it, because I keep picking up bullets for it. Whereas this encouraged me to just try different ones.
No, yeah, I think it was really good in a way that you had to almost adapt to what you found within each level, which was some of that I don't think many other first person shooters at the time really did.
Yeah.
It really encouraged you to like get used to switching out different weapons.
Yeah, when I went back and played this, there was some bits of the game which I didn't particularly like, to be honest.
What aspects?
Well, I found navigation a bit clunky, trying to get around. It's like knowing what to do next. It seemed to be a bit wonky in that. I don't think it was always clear because it's got the motion tracker, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of the time I felt like I was just running around looking for pings for like red dots. Because it's like I'd get the voiceover saying, "No, there's an enemy," and nearby, and I'm just like, "Well, I don't know where." So I'm just gonna lug it around to try and find one. Yeah. So I have to say, some of the voice acting was quite funny. That does feel like it does feel like they've thrown that in. There's someone who went, "Oh yikes!" And to me, it sounded like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. So.
No, it's 2001 video game acting. It's
oh, come on.
It's the best they could do at the time.
Come on, this was
a crap job is the best they could do.
Yeah, but you gotta think, like, when Halo Combat Evolved first came out, it wasn't like, I don't know if everyone thought it was going to be like, it was going to be massive or anything.
Well, this is the thing, because originally it wasn't going to be like the tentpole game for Xbox.
No.
I think it was originally it was actually going to be a real-time strategy game, wasn't it? And then I think that's
what the original was going for.
Yeah, and then it was going to be a third-person shooter, and then they settled on a first-person shooter. But originally there was when Xbox came out, they were planning on having there was some deal with Xbox where they were going to do like some sort of game based on the film AI, and that was going to be like the flagship game for the Xbox, and then that fell through. So then Halo had to like try and take up the mantle of trying to like be the big launch title, and it was never intended to be like that.
No.
So to me, the success of Halo was critical to the existence of the Xbox. If Halo had failed as a game, I think the Xbox could have failed. I think it was that significant for that console.
I think I tend to agree, yeah. I mean, even now it's the big game that they're pushing. They say, right, Halo Infinite this, Halo Infinite that, because that is the one big title that they've got. When
you think back to the launch of the Xbox, I can't think of any of the real games that were stood out for them. In fact, I don't think I can remember a single game that was so significant on its launch.
That was the game, really, wasn't it?
I'm not sure what games did launch for the Xbox. I can't.
I mean, I know it wasn't like a runaway instant success. It was kind of like over like a period of like 5 years, but it was always constantly selling. That's the thing. So there was always interest in it. But it was that thing where, like, if you wanted to play Halo, you had to get an Xbox, and it did become a big thing. I mean, I've got a few mates who had it on the Xbox, but I never had an Xbox at that time. But they definitely had Halo. It was like the one thing they did have.
Yeah.
One of the things that I didn't like was the vehicle controls.
The Covenant
the
vehicles were so floaty for me. I didn't mind the Warthog. I like
the
the
Warthog.
drifting.
Oh, the Warthog! I hated it.
I quite liked it. It had like
you should have seen when I played.
Jumpy feel to it.
Because the other day I went back and I played the second level in the first game, which was the one where you're going in the open environment. You
it's the one where you
crash
land onto Halo.
Yeah, and you've got to find like 3 other ships and your allies, and you've got to go and find them.
Yeah.
And I got to the water brig, and it's just like I'm just flipping it all over the place. And there's one bit where you have to go down into it's like an underground base kind of thing. And you're just basically going down a bunch of paths. And I ended up flipping the vehicle over because you've got allies who get in the vehicle with you. So I flipped it over, and then I accidentally ended up running over one of them.
All the allies. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran over one of them, and the other one shouted at me.
That's how it normally goes.
I'm like, well, it's not my fault if this thing keeps rolling over like its own code. Then I just found the controls from stupid. I couldn't believe how unresponsive it was. Trying to turn a corner.
I didn't like it. I got quite used to it eventually. The thing that I found with it is that, like, if you got to turn a corner, you have to turn much sooner than you think you have to turn.
Or you
can really power drive. You can really like power slide it around.
It just skidded too much for my liking. I just ended up always going up walls. And then you get out and you just have to. It says press X to push up.
Yeah. The thing is, at the time that it came out,
Master Chief just flips it.
At the time it came out, I don't think anyone really did vehicle physics in that kind of game. So it was kind of new.
Yeah. But what I did like is the music.
Yeah.
Oh, who doesn't like Halo?
The music's iconic.
Yeah. The catchy drum beats.
Yeah, it really like revs you and gets you going into level.
Yeah. But sometimes I was playing it and like nothing's happening, and then suddenly it kick in this loud drum beat, and I'm like, what's happening here? Something happening that I'm not aware of.
No, but I think that's what was really really good about it, is that like once you do get into a firefight, like between, I think the second level really emphasized this quite well, and that like during the times of like having to travel from one place to another to get in between like the firefights, the music's quite like nice and just it's just like it's got a really nice atmosphere to it and like all the stuff. But as soon as you get into a firefight, like the music just kicks in, just like the drums and the guitar.
I'm saying when you're in the gunfight, the thrill of mowing down retreating grunts. That's top notch.
Yeah,
the grunts were just hilarious.
I enjoyed do you know the pistol bop thing? Their air canister or whatever it was, then watching them run around and then just popping them in the head.
Oh, do you mean like when you hit them and like they're like back?
Yeah, like
thing comes off.
Yeah, like the air container or whatever it is.
I don't know what it is. I still to this day I don't know what it is. I really need to look into it.
Because they have like the breathing apparatus on, don't they? Because they can't survive on whatever it is, air or something else. But yeah, that were always fun. Yeah,
it seems strange that humans can. This weird, strange Halo world somehow has breathable air for humans. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite weapon?
Pistol.
Yeah, the pistol was good. I like using
the pistol. Just kills everything. It's the most OP pistol in video games.
Yeah, I think it's one of the few games where I've actually enjoyed using the pistol. Where it's like, let's get rid of that.
It's just got a nice sound to it as well, though.
Like the
Lancer. It's got really satisfying.
Yeah.
What other weapons?
I didn't like the needler though. Garbage.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate the concepts of the needler. It's just a bit like, You only really use it on like really heavy, like probably hunters. You'd probably use it on
Yeah.
because they can't move out of the way. Then
I just get firing them and they just like floating in the air, and I'm just ended up making like some sort of firework display. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah,
I just like the general, the normal gun that you've got.
the assault rifle.
Yeah, the assault rifle. It's just so iconic, and it's just the classic. I if I don't have to pick any weapons up, I just use that one. I think I'm a bit like Mark in that respect. It's like if I've got a gun and it's working for me, then I'll use it. I mean, I'll only switch over to a sniper rifle if I really need to. So it was mostly just that gun slash grenades and stickies that I use for combat, and it works. Yeah. Oh, slash maybe a bit of the shotgun as well for close combat, because that's just OP. Just running around corners and just shotgunning people. Actually, shotgun bop, you're dead, done.
Bob.
That's what shotgun bop. That's the way.
Did anyone like any of the Covenant weapons in the first game? Because I never really got on with them.
You didn't get the light sword in the first game, did you?
No,
that was
the elites used it, but you never got to have it.
Never got to use it yourself. That was pretty cool when you did get to use it in later games. Well, what do we have? Plasma rifles, needler.
Yeah, so there's needler, plasma rifle. There's the plasma pistol, which I think in the first game wasn't. Well, it was useful, but it didn't have the auto targeting that it does in like later games.
Yeah.
But it absolutely destroys a shield once you've fully charged it. What else was there?
I don't think in first one there were anything that great on Covenant side for me.
Did they have like the pulse cannon as well? Like their own rocket launcher. I think they had that. That was quite devastating. I think it gets better for them as games go on.
As the game goes on, that hammer, what was that called? Hammer burst, were it? No. That big massive thing that you smash on the ground and it just devastates an area.
I'm not sure what it's called.
Whatever that is, that's cool to use. Just absolutely devastating a group of people with that.
The carbine was pretty good in 2. Like their answer to the battle rifle. I think it's quite a good weapon.
One thing I liked about this about Halo is the health system. You know how you had
with the shield.
Yeah, the shield. Yeah, so it wasn't just instant like once your bar's gone down, that's it. You're dead.
Yeah.
You can at least retreat and so
then,
you've got like 2 chances basically before you die. I quite like that. But still, to be honest, I still died quite a bit. So that didn't help.
No.
I mean, it's good though. It really helps the ebb and flow of the combat system, because you can go in like all guns blazing, your shield's gone, and then you just retreat behind a rock for a few seconds, and then your shield comes back, then off you go again, and then pick them off. Yeah, it's cool.
I quite like the environments. You know, that big green open world. Quite liked that. Although I think the game did receive some criticism in regards to its level design, didn't it? A lot of people thought some aspects were quite repetitive.
Yeah, it's a bit
I think that's part of what annoyed me about the library. Why I got lost in that, because a lot of the corridors looked the same.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting lost, and then obviously coupled that being chased by the flood doesn't bode very well. But yeah, but I think a product of its time, it was up there, wasn't it? I think you could pick faults with it now if you go back and look, but at its time it was
a cutting edge at its time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it had to be based on, as we mentioned earlier, based on the Xbox's success. It had to.
I mean, the other launch titles, Project Gotham Racing was their answer to Gran Turismo, and then you had Dead or Alive 3, I think it was, or 2, one of them anyway. They were like them 2, and Halo was the main 3 launch games. I mean, there were a few other ones, but those were the ones that they were really.
Yeah, because the thing is, obviously, the PS1 has existed, and it's like you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be like, right, I'm going to get PS2. It's a shot in the dark to then buy an Xbox.
Move over to Xbox,
yeah, based on no previous.
I mean, another thing that went against the Xbox is that you needed to buy the remote control for it to play DVDs. So you had to spend 20 quid or so on that, where it's you can play DVDs outside the box.
DVDs, yeah, DVDs, yeah. So yeah, basically, I think what conclusion we've come to here is Halo important for Xbox.
Oh no, massively. Yeah, I think it was.
To me, I think without that game, I don't think the Xbox might exist now. I don't think it would have been successful.
No.
So I think the vast majority of Xbox owners at that time will have owned Halo, and that would have been the flagship, the thing that pulled them towards it.
Yeah, I mean, as Matt said, it was the main thing that him and his friends played on Xbox Live, and Xbox was really. I know the Dreamcast and the PS2 had online capabilities, but Xbox made it easy.
Yeah,
and it made it more accessible than any other console before that. And I think from the coattails of that, the 360 just built on it, and now we're here on the cusp of the next generation, and it's all a lot of it's down to Halo and its success, as you've said, Mark. So
yeah. So I think that's it. Halo Combat Evolved in the Video Game Hall of Fame. So bish bash bosh. So if you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com, where we post blogs, the Hall of Fame, and you can also get involved via our forum to continue the conversation. Also, feel free to follow us on all social media platforms. You can find Joking Dolphin on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
In a bit.